and practices. So every company has got their policies and practices, and you have to follow that. If you do not follow that, then you can be challenged in the court and maybe arrested for not following the terms and conditions of the company. So it is necessary that in every professional way that you have to follow the ethics of that business, okay, whether you are in a company or an institution or we are working anywhere else. So today we will see what are the guidelines of those business ethics and how that has to be followed. What is business ethics? Business ethics means the honesty and integrity of a person, that when you are devoted to a company, then you have to be following the integrity of it. That means that the thing should not be leaked to other people, the document should not be leaked, the account should be proper, and you have to be following all the principles regarding the laws of the company. So this ensures that you have trust with the employees, you have trust with your boss, company people, managers, and also trust between consumers or the cooperators or the dealers or anyone which you are dealing with. Okay, so there has to be an equal treatment, and that is what is the ethics or business ethics means. So we will see that there are 7 principles of business ethics. First is honesty. So business ethics means honesty, that everything should be done honestly. And if you do not do the things with honesty, that means if you're doing some kind of a fraud or corruption or any kind of illegal practices, then you can be challenged in the court or you can be arrested also. So the first thing which is necessary is honesty. So in business ethics, the first principle is honesty. Then we come to integrity. Integrity means that you have to follow the confidentiality of the company's documents. Okay, so any project or any research or any other scientific experiments which you do, that has to be protected within the premises of the company. It should not go out. So all the documents should be contained inside the office only. So it should not go out to other people. So that is what is the integrity. Promise keeping, that means that if you have deadlines, if you have promises that this project would be finishing in such and such deadline, if you have that this production would be supplied to the market at certain time, then you have to keep the promises. Otherwise, if you do not keep, then there would be losses for the company. Trustworthiness, you have to have trust with the consumers, you have to have trust with the dealers and other people whom you are dealing with business. It is also inside the company with your boss and employees, juniors and seniors, but it is also outside the company also, okay, with the customers and with dealers and with the other people whom you are dealing with. Loyalty and fairness is also the principle of business ethics. That means that you have to be loyal for the company. It is not that you are dealing with many types of companies with many kinds of department and you are not following the loyalty with your own company. Fairness, that means everything should be done in a fair manner. All the accounts, all the documents should be done in a fair manner. Then these are the last 3 are considered as the most important principles of business ethics. Concern for others. That means that if you are having a company, if you are having a startup, if you are starting a startup, that means a company of your own, then there should be concern for others. That means that whoever your employees are, those employees should be treated nicely, fairly, or in equality. All the people who are there, they should be given proper salaries, proper medical facilities, proper HRA, that means house allowance and whatever is under your company's policies. So that is what is concern for others. If they take leave, then there has to be a provision for leave also. So all these things are concern for others. ऐसा नहीं है कि if you have just employed them and if they take leave or if they are not well, they are not coming to the company for a few days, so there would be no medical aid for them or you cut their salary. It cannot be done. Okay, so there has to be concern for others. Respect for others, that means respect for the people who are elder and who are at a higher position. That means that people who are working at the higher authority. So you also always should have respect for the chair, for your boss, for the people who are working as a senior to you, which are having more experience to you. Okay, so this is what is the respect for others. Law abiding. Law abiding means that if all the laws, rules, or any kind of terms which the company has made, that has to be abided by all the employees. Okay, so this is what is the business ethics, or the 7 principles of business ethics. I can give you one very simple example of business ethics, that if you are opening a restaurant, then you have to see that the food which is being cooked there is hygienic, so that people do not fall ill by eating your food. So it has to be hygienic, it has to be proper nutritious, like all the proper nutrients should be given. It is not कि आपने खराब खाना उनको खिला दिया, या आपने उनको हाइजीनिक ढंग से नहीं बनाया, जिसमें आप झूठा इधर उधर कर रहे हैं या नॉन वेज का वेज में मिला रहे हैं. So all these things should not be there. So this is the business ethics, that all the restaurants are generally they are circulated, they are used only with the sense of business ethics. If there is no ethics, then it is very difficult for us to go to the restaurants and eat food. So they should be abiding with the laws. They should be keeping their honesty and integrity, so that they could be serving proper food to the consumers and they don't fall ill. Okay, so this is just one example. But if you are working in any company, so there are some kind of laws, some kind of rules which have to be followed, and that company's rule should be followed in a proper manner by all the employees. Okay, so this is what is the business ethics. So we have seen the 7 principles of business ethics. Okay, it is mainly for the executives and the employees who are working in the company. So I have shown it through the diagram also. You can see that business ethics has got so many points. Just go one by one. Moral values should be taken care of. Okay, so we are going from the top. So moral values should be considered. Principles of the company should be considered. One should be having honesty, rightfulness, that means everything which is right should be there. Fairness in your work, in your documents, in your attitude. Responsibility, that whatever work you are given, you have to finish it with responsibility. You have to take the responsibility of the name of the company, of the credibility of the company. So responsibility is also one of the things. Conscience, that your conscience should allow to do only the right things, not the wrong things, not the corruption, not the fraud or any illegal things. If your conscience is not clear, and if you're doing all kind of fraud and corruption, then you might be challenged in the court. You might be going to the court with all the RTIs and other things, and then you can also be arrested for not being abiding by the law. Choice, that you have to choose that what you have to do in a right way. Honor, that means that you have to honor the name of the company, the name of the department, or the employees whom you are working with. You have to go with the values and the integrity. Okay, so these are the things which are there with the ethics, and in business ethics, all these things are included. When you are working in any profession or in any job, you have to see that all the business ethics are being included in your work or in your way of working. Now, what is business ethics? It is generally the moral principles that guide the way a business behaves. So if you are working in any kind of company, institute, or any industry, then you have to see that you are guided by the correct people. You should be guided in a proper manner so that your business flourishes. Okay, so this is what is the moral principles of business ethics. These are the set of moral standards that are relied upon to reach conclusions and make decisions. So if you have a correct moral standard, then all the decisions which you make would be considered as proper, because there is no fraud and no illegal practices done. But if your moral standards are bad, that means that if you are your conscience is not clear, then your decisions would be according to your own benefit. It would not be according to the benefit of the company, and it might lead to bad decisions where the company will not gain profits, or it will not grow, or it will not develop. Okay, so the basic thing of business ethics is that the growth and development of the company depends on the type of business ethics their employees behave in, or the guidelines of business which they generally put into the employees. So the employee should be behaving in certain guidelines which are honest, which are full of integrity. If they do not do so, then the company will be mostly in losses. It will not gain anything. It will not gain popularity, and the growth and development of the company or the department would not be there. Okay, so it is everywhere, even in the country also. you can see that if there is a lot of corruption, if there are a lot of fraud things which are going on, if there are illegal practices going on in the country, then that country will not grow. That means that country will not develop. So same thing has happened with our country also. For so many years, we are not considered as developed countries. जो मेट्रो आज बन रही है वो यूरोप में 1940 में बन रही थी. So this is how the business ethics of our country were, that if all the money which we were earning or which the taxpayers were giving, I don't know where those things were going, but it was not into the development of the country. Okay, so somewhere we can see that even in our country there was lack of business ethics. That means people were more into corruption, people were more into fraud things, and there were no laws or there were no regulations in our country. Okay, so this is how the growth and development of the country was hindered. Similarly, in any company also, if you have lot of fraudulent people, or if you have a lot of people who are not into ethics or who are doing wrong things, then that company will not flourish. Okay, so business ethics means all the moral principles or the code of conduct or the code of ethics which will be guiding your business in a proper way, and this will only lead to the growth and development of the company. In the last line, it says, in a business environment, ethics are a key factor in decision making. Okay, so there is a key which is being made here, and that key is what is business ethics. If you have that key of ethics, then your business environment would be more proper. It would be growing into a proper way. It would be developing into a smooth way. But if there is no key of ethics among the employees, then the business environment will change and it will not grow. So I have already given you one example of business ethics, that if you are having a restaurant, and then if you think that the consumers can be given any kind of food which is not hygienic, which is not nutritious, so then your restaurant will not be flourishing. But if you make it proper, that you have to go with the rules and regulations of the state or country or the company, that you have to supply good food with good nutritious quality in a hygienic way, in a proper service, so then your restaurant would be flourishing. So you cannot serve bad food to the consumers so that they get ill. Then you will be challenged in the court, or maybe you can be also arrested. So what I mean to say, that to create a business environment, it is necessary to have business ethics. I can give you one more example, that if you are having any kind of a chemical factory, अगर आप कोई soap बनाने की factory है, या फिर आपकी कोई दवा बनाने की factory है, so any kind of chemical factory which is producing smoke in the environment, so that means that you are polluting the environment because of your factory. So because of your own profit, you are polluting the environment, which is from which everybody is being hurt. Everybody who are living there is being suffering from some kind of illness. तो इसलिए जो leather industries हैं, उनका आप देखते हैं कि their waste is going into the rivers, which is polluting the rivers. So this is not business ethics. Ethics means that you have to contain yourself, you have to purify that thing, and then you have to send it to some other areas and not into the rivers. Similarly, the smoke of the chemical factory should not go into the air. There should be some purifiers, there should be some kind of filters where that bad air is being filtered and the good air is being escaped to the environment. So this is the business ethics. If you don't follow this, then you would be spoiling your environment and also the health of the other people who are residing beside your companies. Okay, so it is necessary that you have to have good business ethics while you are starting any kind of startup, any kind of company. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, that your responsibility is also towards the society. Your responsibility is also towards the human beings who are staying there, who are working with you, and who are also staying or residing nearby your companies. Okay. Then your responsibility is also towards the rivers, which has to be purified so that the bad waste should not be flown into it, and also the bad smoke should not be flown into the environment. So it is the responsibility also of the person who is starting the company, or who are the authorities of the company, that they make sure that such type of thing should not be hurting the other people or the society. Okay, so that is what we have seen here in the diagram, that honesty, rightfulness, fairness, and then we have responsibility here. That means that you have some responsibility towards the society, towards the human beings, and also towards the environment or the planet of the where you stay. And you also have some kind of a responsibility towards your own employees, that if they are hurt, if they have got some tragedy, if they are hurt in while working in the machines, then you have to pay them. Okay, so that is how the allowances should be given, the house allowance should be given, the perks should be given, and also the medical facilities should be given, so that all the employees are comfortably working in your company. So this is what is the business ethics. Now we come to the 5 main or the important things which is necessary for business ethics, though I have explained to you, but I would just go one by one. Developing code of ethics. So if you have a company, or if you are starting a company, or any kind of startups, then it is necessary that you should be having a code of ethics. That means all the 7 principles or more which we have discussed here should be included into your rules, into your terms and conditions, or rules and regulations of the company, or the policies. So this code of ethics should be maintained in the policies of the company, where everything is defined and the employees can just go through those policies and try to work accordingly. So such type of code of ethics which we have discussed before should be included or implemented in your policies, in the company's policies, so that employees can be following that. Developing codes of conduct. So we have seen what are the codes of conduct. That means there has to be proper way to have to act as a responsible citizen of the country. That means that your responsibility towards the environment, towards your employees, towards your company, towards the safety of the employees, towards the medical facilities of the employees, or towards the consumer or collaborators, and so on. So that is what is the code of conduct you have to maintain. Making ethical decisions. I have told you that if you are honest and integrate, you are working honestly, or you have fairness in your work, then all the documents which you are making would be in a proper way, and that will give a very good decision for the company. So if the ethics are there, then the decisions would be ethical. Ethical means that they would be right, they would be honest. It is not the fraud the decisions which you are taking for the company. Assessing and cultivating ethical culture. Now here in every company, every institute or industry you are working on, किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट में अगर आप काम करते हैं, तो एक एथिकल कल्चर वहाँ पर डेवलप होता है. जैसे कि अगर आप हम लोग के इंस्टीट्यूट में देख लें, तो हम लोग का एथिकल कल्चर ये है कि वी डू नॉट गो आउट ऑफ द टाइम अनलेस देयर आर some kind of forcible conditions like pandemic. अब उसके पहले अगर आप देखें तो everything would used to go very smoothly, like your exams would be held on time, your results would come in time, your quizzes would be on time, your classes would be on time. So we are maintaining an ethical culture of punctuality. Okay, so if in an office, if the authorities are not punctual, then the employees would also not be punctual. So everything would be laid back. This is what happens in the private public sector, which is compared to the private sector. In public sector, जो government sector होते हैं, you can always see that things are very laid back. The files are not moving ahead. People are not on their desk. They are going outside to eat pan or eat or drink tea or whatever. So they are not on the desk working. So their files are being compiled or piled up on one another for quite a long time, and each time when it is important, they just remove one file and try to work on it, which is more important, or which is an emergency. So this is how the work is being overloaded. Okay, but in private sector you cannot do that. If you are given a work in the morning, then you have to finish it in the evening. If you're not able to do it, you have to do it overtime. So you have to meet the deadlines, and if you're not able to meet the deadlines, then there would be action. So you can also be fired. But in public sector, in government sector, once you have entered, so it is very rare that you will be fired unless there is a very harsh charges on you, but otherwise you can just take it easy. So this is the culture we have created for the government people, who are very laid back and who are very slow in working in files, and who are also not taking their work seriously. But in private sectors, because there is action which is being taken, and there are laws, and all the employees are forced to abide by the laws, so they have to work properly, and everything is being completed day by day. So there is no overloading of work. So this is how the culture has been created. This when we are discussing this point of assessing and cultivating ethical culture, it means that how well you cultivate culture in your company. If you are cultivating culture of non-sincerity, of non-hardworking people, or of non-punctual, then all the employees would be doing in the same way. So if you have strict measures, then you are maintaining an ethical culture which has to be maintained mostly in the countries for having a proper work culture over there. Then we come to social responsibilities. I have already told you that when you are managing a company or you are starting any kind of startup, you have a social responsibility towards your planet, towards the society, towards the human beings, towards the employees, and also towards the natural things like rivers or pollution or air or something which you cannot pollute. So this is the social responsibility which you have to understand in business ethics. These are the points of importance of business ethics. We have covered most of it, but you can just go through that. These are the important points of business ethics. So if any question comes that what are the importance of business ethics, so you can just choose 5 or 6 points which are useful and try to elaborate it. Okay. So increase customer loyalty. We have talked about loyalty. We have talked about social responsibility. Now reduce business risk. तो जितना आप गलती करेंगे उतनी ज्यादा आपका रिस्क है, क्योंकि you will be arrested or you would be taken to the court. But if you are doing the work with honesty and integrity, there is less risk of getting anything wrong. So everything would be in a smooth manner. So it reduces business risk. Then ethical investment keeps growing. So if you are working in a proper manner, so then you will be having good credibility of the company and the investment would be coming up, and that is how your company would be having growth and development in few years. Employees should feel comfortable and safe. So this is necessary that employees want to stay in the business for the long term. Now when we say that you have to work on the comfortability and safety of the employees, that means even after their retirement, they must be having a safe retirement. You have to ensure that they are having safe retirement after they work in your company. So that is why they will be staying in the business for the long time. Otherwise, they will leave your company and go to other companies where people are being given more perks. Okay. So other than that, comfortable and safety means if they are working on machines, then you have to take proper care that they are wearing all the masks. If they are welding something, there should be a shield on their eyes, the goggles if they are working for the chemical reaction bench, or similar kind of thing should be provided to them. So safety is also necessary, that you have to provide all the safety precautions for the employees while they are working for your company. Then there is the safety of the product also. कि अगर आप कोई इलेक्ट्रिकल अप्लायंस खरीदना चाहते हैं, so you will always go for a branded name like Philips. अगर if you want to buy an iron, so that iron for ironing your clothes, so you will generally go for Philips, or you would go for some brand name like Samsung or some other brand names which have maintained the credibility in the market. But if suddenly any kind of electrical appliances are being made in some kind of village where there is no brand name, and if you try to buy that product, then maybe it is possible that you get shock and you can die, because that appliances is not having a quality check. So it can hurt you. So you have to also feel that you would be sending comfortable and safety product. You are selling comfortable and safety products to the consumer, so that they don't get hurt and they cannot sue your company for being hurt or having a shock. So this is the comfortability and safety of the employees which you have to gather. There are many other things you can just go through. Other business wants to partner with you. ये जो point नीचे लिखा हुआ है, it means that if your company has the credibility and ethical standards, then more partners will come and join you. So that is what is the business will be growing and developing. Credibility in the public, credibility with the employees. So everything is being written here. Better decision making, which we have already discussed. Protection of society. That means your responsibility for the society. Protection of society हमने वही बताया कि अगर आप कोई भी electrical appliance खरीद रहे हैं, so if you are not having a proper quality check, then the person might get shocked with that electrical appliances. So you might not want to happen this. So this is why protection of society is necessary. Loyalty, moral values, and all those things which are being stated here. So this is the importance of business, which we have seen, and we have been doing this business ethics, which shows that what is the meaning of business ethics, the definitions, the 7 principles, and how the business ethics can be used in your company with code of conducts, code of ethics, decisions, culture, and responsibility. So if you have any questions regarding this, you can ask, and then we will come to the next topic. That means the next topic of pronouncing words. So I will be just showing you the video where you can see that how Indians pronounce some of the wrong words and how it has to be pronounced in a right way. So, so I would stop presenting here, and I would be presenting the next video where you can see that how the correct pronunciation should be done, because mostly in Indian English, generally the people generally do not pronounce some of the words correctly, and we will see that how it has to be pronounced. Since we are not having the communication lab due to online classes, so I would like to give some of the tips of pronunciation here through the online classes. Okay, so I would be just sharing the screen once again so that you can hear the voice and also see the, you can also see the video. So let me know if you are able to see the video.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, so I will start playing and you can understand, you can see that how the correct pronunciation of the words are shown. Mostly in India, people try to pronounce these words in a wrong way, and this is the correct way of learning pronunciation. So I will start the video now.
We showed you how to pronounce the famous car names correctly. But today, we are going to show you some random words that we were pronouncing wrong all along. This video might surprise you, as we all use some of these words every day, and mostly in the wrong way. Home. It is not home. It is home. Home. Here's another word for you to pronounce. Do you call it bhari, bhuri, or bhuri? Well, none of them is correct. It is simply pronounced as berry. Berry. Say berry. Epitome. It is not epitome. It is epitome. Epitome. We all have a friend who is an engineer, but most of us call them engineer or engineer, but the word is actually pronounced as engineer. Engineer. The R is silent. Engineer.
जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना।
So well, something went wrong. So I'll try to I will try to search again and try and will play again.
Random words that we were pronouncing wrong all along. This video might surprise you, as we all use some of these words every day, and mostly.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You can see the screen, okay? So I think there was an ad in between, but if this, I don't know whether I can. Okay, so now we don't see the ad, but if the ad comes, then you just have to bear with me.
In the wrong way. We all have a friend with asthma or worry. Well, none of them is correct. It is simply pronounced as berry. Berry. It is not epitome, it is epitome. 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 We all have a friend who is an engineer, but most of us call them engineer or engineer, but the word is actually pronounced as engineer. Engineer. The R is silent. Engineer. Here's another word most of us pronounce it as entrepreneur, while it is actually pronounced as entrepreneur. 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 Debris. It is not debris or debris. It is pronounced as debris. Debris. The S is silent. Debris. We all have a friend with asthma. Most of us call it as asthma, but wrong. It is not asthma. It is called as asthma. The T and H is silent. Asthma. Here is another common word that most of us pronounce wrong. Wednesday. Most of us say it as Wednesday, but it is not Wednesday. It is actually Wednesday. Say Wednesday. Wednesday. Who doesn't love pizza? But most of us call it as either pizza or pizza. But the actual pronunciation of the word is pizza. 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 Here is another commonly mispronounced word. Lingerie. Well, most of us call it lingerie. No, it is not lingerie. It is actually called lingerie. Say lingerie. Lingerie. What do you call this? Bowl or bowl? Well, both are wrong. It is simply called bowl. Easy, right? Bowl. Right now, you are watching this video, with many of us pronounce it as video. It is not video. It is simply pronounced as video. Video. What do you call this thing? Violin or violin? Well, both are wrong. It is actually called violin. 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 What do you call these people? Monk or monk? Both are wrong. It is pronounced as monk. Simply say monk. Here is another word. It is not dengue or dengue. It is simply called dengue. That's right, dengue. Dengue. Here's another word. I used to call it tomb for years. Some of you might even call it tomb, but the actual pronunciation of the word is tomb. It is simply called as tomb. Here's another word that we all mispronounce mostly. Most of us call it coupon, or some may even say coupon, but actually it is pronounced as coupon. 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 Here's a very common word that we use every day. Most of it call it iron. Well, it is wrong. It is actually pronounced as iron. I-N. You can even say it as iron. Iron. Who doesn't like to drink a glass of mojito? It is pronounced as mojito, not mojito. Simply say mojito. The J is pronounced as H. Mojito. What do you call this place? Restaurant or restaurant? Well, it is actually pronounced as restaurant. 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 Here's another word. It is not data. It is called data. Say data. Similarly, here's another word. It is not daemon or demon. It is demon. Jiman. Here are some more words that we pronounce wrong. It is not subtract, it is subtract, subtract, subtract. Here's another word. It is not genre, not even genre. It is pronounced as genre. So, was this video useful for you? Don't forget to share this video with your loved ones.
So I hope you could understand the pronunciation. These were the daily words of pronunciation, and I hope that it would be helpful. I would be sending the video and the class which we had done today on the topic of business ethics. I would be sharing it soon. So if you have any questions regarding this, you can ask. Otherwise, I will just take the attendance and leave you. So I am stopping the recording now.